let's have some fun today. I got a box of yarn here from Katia Yarns. If you are on my email membership, whatever you want to call it, you would have seen me open this box after it came. It was just like a blind opening. I didn't know what to expect. If you aren't on that and you have no idea what I'm talking about, let me bring you up to speed. I have joined a few different affiliate networks. A representative from Katia Yarns had reached out to me and asked if I would be willing to have some yarn. So this is not anything paid or anything like that. What it is where, they just want you to use their yarns and become familiar with them, so you recommend them to other people. If you want to know more about like affiliate stuff, like if you're a creator, a content creator or whatever, I will put a link to, I think I have 5 episodes of a podcast on Spotify where it's called Behind the Scenes with Shannon, and it's like the behind the scenes stuff, and I know one episode is all about affiliate links. So that will have more about that if you're interested in it. And if you're not, let's get into the yarn. I didn't know exactly what they would be sending me. I believe I said I just liked, neutral colors, natural fibers, all the good stuff, right? I had no idea what was being sent to me or the amount of things being sent to me. It was just completely a surprise. And I will be honest, it was awesome. Like, I have heard of Katia Yarns. I don't live around any like LYS's, like local yarn shops at all. And so I just don't frequent them very often. And I know, you get this more from them. They do have a US website. I have been told by quite a few of my European viewers that it's pretty prevalent in Europe, even though it's not quite as much here. So, I do love some European yarns. So this is so fun. So I think what we'll do is just kind of look, and I'll show you what I got. And I have my crochet hook. I have a 5mm right here. And let's see what some of them work up to be. I am going to have to put on my readers, so sorry if there is a glare there. It's funny, I was like digging for my crochet hook, found another pair of readers. I probably have a dozen pair from the dollar store just stashed everywhere. The very first, to me, this is the most eye-catching right here, and they sent me 5 of these right here. If you have been a viewer before, you will know that these are definitely Shannon colors. Or if you're looking at my outfit or my surroundings, you'll know these are Shannon colors. So this is very exciting for me. I have not worked with, I don't think I've ever really worked with like real mohair. I think I've worked with a synthetic, and I didn't really care for it. I know that real mohair is a little bit tricky to work with, so there is that. I know that I want to, when I use this, do it on a project where I know the pattern really well so that I don't have to worry about a lot of frogging. And I'm really kind of thinking about doing a virus shawl for myself because I love the pattern of the virus shawl. I think it gives a lot of bang for the buck creatively. Like, I feel like the look of it makes it seem like it was a lot harder to make than it actually was. So this yarn is called Katia 100% You Ingenua Nonstop Creativity. It is a 50-gram ball, 153 yards. Now, their tags are pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and pull this one out right here so you can see this. So, on the back here, it does have like all of the different stats right there. So a lot of good information on there. If you saw my video about the yarns I got from Amazon, you'll know that was my biggest complaint, is that a lot of that yarn, you don't really know much about it. So this is 78% mohair, 13% polyamide, and it is 9% virgin wool. It is very, very soft. It is definitely softer than the synthetic stuff that I had worked with in the past. So this one right here is color 79. And what I will do is, because there are 5 of them, all of the stats are exactly the same. So I will link to it, and I will write down in the link, and of course in the blog post that I'll do as well, what the different colors were. So they sent me, this one I can tell you, light beige, beige. Nope, I'm looking at the wrong ones. They sent me brown, camel, nut brown, and dark brown. Beige. Beige, brown, caramel, nut brown, dark brown. Very, very pretty. And, you know, at first I was like, you know, what can I make out of this? I'm not a knitter. I am a crocheter if you are new around here. I'm trying to learn to knit, but I'm in no way competent. So I'm comfortable saying I'm a crocheter at this point in time. And at first I was like, oh, do I just make some like lacy shawl? But what I want to show you is another yarn that they sent me. And they seem to be pretty similar colors. So I do feel like I could pair these pretty well. They sent me 4 of these right here. This is 100 merino 100%, best basics, non-museling wool super wash. This particular one here is color 65. They sent light beige, beige, camel, and medium brown, which medium brown seems like a dark brown. It's a very cool brown. And this, to me, seems like it is a nice worsted weight, like a thinner worsted, maybe a thick DK, but I am pretty sure that this is a 4-weight yarn. It is super stretchy and it is super soft, and you can kind of see the texture. I don't know if you can see it or not. You can kind of see the texture where it is. You can almost see like you can see where it's spun. So I think it is very, very pretty. And what is on here? In each of these balls, it's a 50-gram ball again, 100% virgin wool. Matches my hat pretty well. And it is 111 yards. Now, if I'm holding these together, I feel like these go very well together right here. Not sure which, almost maybe think the lighter one. Maybe, because I feel like the lighter one seems a little bit cooler in color. I don't know. It could go either way on there. Could go either way. I feel like this might be easier for me to see the stitches pairing these two, but we'll put that over here for now, because we're not going to decide on that yet. And then these two seem like they go fairly well. I mean, there's a little difference in the tonal value. And then these two right here, right? Unless I want to do this. No, I think I liked it better the other way, this way and this way. But again, nothing I have to decide on now. But since these are the lightest and the easiest to see, I thought that we could like kind of work them up just a little bit of a swatch so we can kind of see that. Grab my crochet hook here. Yeah, this 100% merino feels very good. I like working with merino. I have purchased a lot of other merinos from other places. I would say, you know, it's probably like my favorite, but it's also an indulgence. Like, it is not something that I just willy-nilly buy for myself because it is a little more of an investment. A few years back, during a Hobby Lobby annual sale, I had gotten some of their merino that they were getting rid of. But I want to say that is only like 10 or 20% merino, where this is like full. So obviously, you know, if it's not mixed with an acrylic or whatever, the price tag is going to be a little bit higher, but it is also going to be quite a bit nicer piece. I am going to go ahead and just work up a small swatch right here by itself. I'll probably speed it up and set it to some music, or else do a voiceover or something so it's not crazy boring. But yeah, I just want to see how this works up. I am just doing some very simple half double crochets here. Nothing that you really need to see. If you are watching this, you probably have enough experience already. You're not trying to learn a half double crochet. You would much rather see how the yarn works up. This is working up quite nice so far. It's got a lot of stretch to it. It is not splitting at all. It is definitely like wound or spun in a way where I'm not having any problems. You know, I do like the boy hook a little bit better. I'm not an inline girl, so I feel like these don't split your yarn quite as much anyway. 2 little rows there. But for me, like whipping through this just in a giant hurry, it really, I'm not having any problems. I'm not hooking anything that I shouldn't be hooking. The one thing that on the label, it doesn't say, at least that I can find anywhere, of what weight the yarn is. It does have a gauge swatch on here, and it does have some knitting needle sizes. I think it says USA 7 to 5. So if you know what that is, kind of corresponding to crochet hooks, let me know down in the comments. Like I said, I am using an I hook here. I believe that is a 5, or is it 5.5? It says I on it, I can tell you that. But yeah, it is working very well with this weight of yarn. It is gliding through. It is not sticking at all. Here is 3 rows of half double crochets. I am not doing the full square in the gauge swatch there, but yeah, it feels very nice. It doesn't have really any halo. It wasn't getting fuzzy at all, like in a bad way for yarns that shouldn't. I mean, this is a very basic color in a very basic yarn, so it's not something that will maybe necessarily blow your mind, but I can tell you it feels very nice working with it. It's stretchy. It worked up very easily. There is on its own. Let's go ahead and put it through and see what it looks like with a little bit of this mohair. So I guess we'll frog this and see how this goes. Frogging very easy, frog very easy, no problems there. But again, it was just a small little swatch, so take that into consideration. So the end of it actually was somehow like, I don't know if that was a coincidence that the end was wrapped around the little arrow part of that label, or if it's that way for all of them. That would be amazing if you don't have to hunt for it, because I can see where that would be difficult. This is pulling out of here quite easy. It's not like sticking to the ball, even though it does look kind of like a big glob of yarn. This has an absolutely gorgeous halo. So I can't help it. I have always been a person who is attracted to like novelty yarn, even though it is hard to work with. Like, I can't help myself. I'm definitely that person. Like, I get swept off my feet. I get impressed easily by, like, soft things. So let's go ahead. I'm just, like, again, I'm going to do this very, very basic here. These colors do actually, like, blend absolutely beautiful there, too. I'm going to use the same crochet hook here, the I hook, but I'm using a little lighter tension, like less tension, not than I normally would. And I am normally kind of a loose crocheter anyway, but I'm definitely keeping it loose for this. I'm not even counting on this one to see how many stitches I'm doing here. So far, this is pulling through pretty easily. That one I had a little more trouble with there, ironically, because I was trying to talk about it. Yeah, I seem to be having a little more trouble on pulling that last loop of the half double crochet through, but not like terrible in any way at all. It's like if you keep your tension loose, or if you are a tight crocheter, I would suggest going up a size in hook just to make it a little easier for yourself. But yeah, as long as you're not trying to hurry or not pulling too much, just going easy on it, it seems to be sliding through pretty well for me. I'll bring this up here. My craft room is such a disaster right now. I have been working on a side project. A friend of mine, you might already know this, but a friend of mine and I are working on organizing our own market and getting vendors and all this fun stuff, just because if I'm going to participate in a market, I want it to be advertised a lot. I want it to be worth everyone's time and effort. So yeah, we just decided to do it ourselves and see how it goes. So it is a pit in here. So I can't move. If you saw what this all looked like here, you'd be like, tisk tisk, Shannon, it's bad. So as I stated, I am not the most experienced with mohair, but the little bit that I have used, I'm remembering now, I did mix like a velvet yarn and a mohair, and it was a pretty neat texture. I made a hat and a video about that. I did really like it. I felt like It was one of those hats that I kind of later learned you need something with a little more stretch in it so it goes back into shape. So I don't really wear that hat anymore, even though I loved the colors. But the point of that rambling was that I do remember I did use actual mohair for that, but I think it did have like a higher acrylic percentage in it. And then the totally synthetic mohair I used was the stickiest. Like, it was the hardest to deal with. This, I feel like, is going relatively well. I do love these together. While looking at it, I'll bring it up here in just a second for you to see. But as I'm looking at it, you really cannot see, like, I feel like the mohair yarn has blended in with the superwash yarn, and I feel like it just now looks like a super warm, cozy, fuzzy, wonderful to touch yarn. Like, it doesn't look like there's two strands held here together. I'm not having issues holding them together. It is really, you can see it's coming off of that ball so much, or that donut, so much easier than I thought it was going to. If you know me, you know I do use a lot of value yarns, and I love natural fibers, but I do try to get those kind of in value brands as well. I've gone, you know, and I do have hand spun, hand dyed yarn, but like commercially nicer yarn, I really haven't worked with a ton. So yeah, I think that is super pretty. I feel like knitted, it would make an amazing sweater. Like I said, I'm using an eye hook. It is not creating a drapey fiber at all here. It's definitely, like, it's soft, but the piece itself has structure to it. It's a pretty solid chunk. And that could be this, obviously part of it is going to be the stitch that I used as well. It does feel amazing on the skin. So something like this, maybe if I wanted to make a few separate cowls for myself in some different colors, with a looser type of stitch, maybe doing more of a mesh, like a, what is it called, like filet crochet. That might be something I might do. I can see myself really enjoying that and wearing those. It is very, very pretty. Let's see how it frogs with the mohair in there. What I'm going to do, I got that partial row out there. I'm going to try to eliminate some of the problems I could have by winding up this as I go and not letting it get into a big pile. So here is going to be the second row I'm taking out. This one isn't frogging quite as easy as the first one. You know, coming along fairly well. A little bit with the mohair right there. I just pulled that, and then I feel like every row that I did, I was maybe able to do it a little bit looser, a little bit smoother, because I feel like as I'm frogging it, the further I go into it, a little bit more difficult to frog right there. Overall, not terrible, but again, I am still going to pick an easy pattern that I've definitely done before and I do not have to worry about. So I'm getting a little bit of a hang up here in my chain. So it does look like possibly too the smaller of stitches that you're using with this combination, the like stickier and harder it is to frog, which is probably just normal with mohair. Love these, both the Ingenua and the 100% Merino. I'm very much liking, and let me know, should I make one shawl for myself, like a virus shawl, you know, like gradient? I do only have 4 balls of the merino, so I would have like one that I don't use of the mohair, which could either be like the lightest or the darkest. I mean, it could be whatever I want, actually. So weigh in on that if you would. Should I do one piece that's a gradient shawl, or should I make myself like 4 different little cowls that I can just interchange and wear in the wintertime? Let's look at the next yarn. All of these are the same. Now, they did send this to me like kind of beginning to middle of December. There are a couple darker ones here. There are 2 red ones, and I feel like that would make a really nice like Christmassy type of ear warmer with just the two, but you know, I guess Valentine's Day is coming up. That could be very cute as well. So we've got red, orange, you know, your girl's an orange girl, and then some really, really beautiful pinks, mauves, whatever you want to call them here. So I'm going to hold these up here so you can see these colors. I feel like these would all go very well in a project together. Again, I will have the colors linked. Yeah, it doesn't really say the colors, it just has the color numbers. So check out the blog post, check out the links if you want to find out a little more about it. But these right here, it's Concept Cotton Merino Fine, made with 70% organic cotton. It is superwash merino. This one here I'm looking at, which is like a blushy color, is color 81. The part in the center, like what I notice about these right here, these Concept and these Concept, is these are like totally solid, like solid red, solid orange. Where these, you definitely see more of like a white center, and then the fuzz around it is where the color is coming from. Very, very soft. Yeah, the pink, this one right here is probably the hardest to see the white in it. I think this is a good one to show that off. It maybe looks a little more extreme on camera than like right there. Let's pull this tag out and see what's going on here. 25-gram ball. It is only 82 yards. So this is definitely a smaller ball. It says Knitting Needles USA 4 to 5, 70% cotton. And so it must be, the writing is so tiny on this one. It's crazy how tiny it is. 30% virgin wool, and it is superwash. Yep, Concept by Katia, Cotton Merino Fine. There is that. It's very light. You can see the construction of it is like the chain spun in there. And yeah, you can see like that white center and then the fuzz on it. Very pretty. I'm gonna not pull that center out. I don't like center pull. I used to think like you're kind of a big shot if you did the center pull, but I have since realized that just creates a lot of annoyance. So I'm always taken from the outside. You know, with the halo, it always makes it a little harder to tell. But again, it's finer than this merino over here out the halo, but like with the halo, is it about the same? Yeah, it really is here. So let me go ahead and work up a little swatch of this. I'm just going to do this one color here, the color 81. I would call it like a blush. It definitely has a reddish orange tint to it, but it is definitely in the pink family. This one definitely is more of like a mauve-y, like more of a cooler lavender type. And this one really is like a baby pink type of pink. I'm using my eye hook still. I'm going to do the same thing, the double crochets. And again, you all know how to do a double crochet. You're not coming here for a tutorial on that. I'm not having any trouble with it. This eye hook is working very well. It's not dropping off of the hook. It is, picking up on it. It's staying it. This definitely is not definitely is not a splitty yarn, so you don't have to worry about that very much. It does glide on the hook pretty easily. I would not mix this one with the mohair just because I think that would be way too fuzzy, and I don't think it would be necessary, and I think that it would definitely be impossible to separate if you were trying to frog it. This does have a really pretty variation in color, at least these ones that have the white in the center. This is the exact same yarn, so I'm not sure why those don't have the white center as well. I will be curious to go online after I get done with this and see how many colors there are and that type of stuff. And I will put a little bit better description of each of these 3 yarns in the description box so you can see it as well. But this is working up quite well. I really like the variations in the color on here. I love tonal yarn. Like I love yarn that has like subtle tonal differences. Like if you can see in that, I do really like seeing the variations in the color. I think sometimes it can make it look like a little bit more of a like an expensive piece than just like plain solid color. I'm going to go ahead and do one more quick row. I do wish a little more came in each of these donuts because that will definitely affect what I do make out of this. I feel like I could definitely get like one ear warmer made out of one donut. I feel like you could get by with a pretty simple stitch with this and it would still look very nice. Let me go ahead and show you this up close here. So this is the Cotton Merino Fine. You can see this has really good stitch definition. Again, I used the eye hook with this, and I feel like with the halo, it is a 4-weight. It's probably like a 3-weight or 2-weight without the halo. But by using that, I mean, I love the stitch definition in this. I love seeing the differences in color. I think that is absolutely beautiful. It's got a lot of stretch to it as well. Very soft to work with. This definitely has a lot more drape to it. Like this, I feel like would make, might give a better effect to a shawl or something like that, where you want it to be very drapey. I think this is much more your yarn than this right here. So let's check this out and see how the Concept Cotton Merino Fine frogs. It's pretty effortlessly. One little hang up there. Yeah, that was pretty easy. I was somewhat hesitant to make the swatches because I was like, man, I don't want there to be problems frogging it, but it worked pretty well. So thank you so much for joining me on this Katia Yarn haul. I hope that I was able to help you find something new if you haven't tried it yourself either. I'm thankful that they sent this to me because I'm really excited. Like, it's all very Shannon type yarn. So I'm looking forward to making some stuff. Let me know if you've got some suggestions for me because, like I said, it is kind of limited. I have 6 of these 82 yard balls right here. If I were to put them all in the same project, I don't know if I would want to. Who knows? Let me know what you think on it and check out the blog post for more information. Thank you so much for being here and talking yarn with me. Bye.